Welcome to Conversations with the Planets with Lori Kaufman and Alicia Cielle Heiser, a podcast that roots the wisdom of the stars into our lived experiences here on Earth and weaves the power of diverse healing modalities together with astrology.
I'm Lori Kaufman, an astrologer, tarot reader, writer, and teacher. I co-lead the Asteroid Special Interest Research Group for NCGR, an astrology organization, and I offer all different sorts of readings, online and in person.
I'm Alicia Cielle Heiser, an astrologer, herbalist, and witch living in Oregon on Kalapuya land, and I offer astrology consultations and teachings aimed at helping you honor your most authentic self and trust your intuition. Hey everyone! Today we're going to be talking about Lori and Mai's trip to Ikaria, which is this beautiful, cute little island in the Icarian Sea off of Greece, kind of near Turkey, honestly, but it is a Greek
Yeah, closer
island.
to Turkey.
Yeah, and it is where Icarus was said to have fallen in the ocean. And
hmm
so a while back, Lori and I released an episode talking about Icarus and how the asteroid Icarus shows up in her chart and the story of Icarus. And that's linked down below if you want to go listen to that. But we wanted to do an
hmm
updated episode now that we've actually been to Icaria, just sharing some pictures and reflections and memories from what we learned going to this island.
Yeah, once Icarus was the first asteroid I found in my chart, and if you didn't listen to the episode, I really linked it with my acro practice because I did Icarian acrobatics,
Mhm.
which is named after him. And it felt really special to like find that asteroid, and that sent me down the asteroid path that I'm on today. So it was really like such a catalyst effect, even finding that one. And I, since then, found out that there was an island named after him right where the rock was, where he was said to have fallen. And the rock has basically become a memorial to him. It's out kind of in the middle of the ocean. It was
Mhm.
very
Let
weird.
me let me share my screen. Let me pull up the
Yeah,
rock,
pull a picture of
but
it. And it
um
was so beautiful to actually go there. I like put that on my bucket list right away after all of that. And so it was very cool to like see that rock literally just floating out there. It's so
mhm.
interesting.
Mhm. Yeah, and I have a picture. Let me find. These are several. We'll come back to some of these, but yeah, here's my picture of the rock, and then here's Lori being cute in front of the rock. But it was just this beautiful, it was, we rented a car because the island does not have a
Yeah.
lot of transportation, and we just had this cute little European car, and the roads in
Tiny, tiny
Ikaria,
car.
yeah, the roads are just, I'm a skier and I spend all my time in the mountains. So I'm very comfortable with like winding mountain roads. And we were like in a go-kart, so it was pretty easy. But those roads were very windy and over like crazy mountains. And then to get down to the rock was just
Yeah,
like,
quite a journey.
there were points where we were like, are we going to just have to park and walk the rest of the way? But we did make it, and there was no one there. When we
Which
left, I
shocked
think,
me.
yeah, when we
I
left, there
really
was
thought it
like,
was going to be so popular and so crowded, and I thought
yeah,
we were going to have to fight people there, but like we were completely isolated, completely alone, the only people for miles, and so it was really cool to like
uh-huh.
just sit with it for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just like, you can see that there's like earth, like there was rocks there, and I was like
Yeah,
hiding in the
big
shade because
craters.
I'm very white and it was very sunny. But Lori was being all like Mediterranean out in the sun, and we just were
Dancing
sitting there,
barefoot.
yeah, like journaling and connecting with the spots and the space. Which
Mhm.
we'll release more episodes because we did an entire trip to Greece and an entire pilgrimage facilitated by Jason
Yeah.
Hawley, where we visited multiple sacred sites. And this was a trip that Lori and I did, just us two, at the end of our time in Greece. So we
Yeah.
have a lot to say about visiting like temples to Artemis and
Oh, yeah.
to Zeus and the Asclepion and Delphi. And, so at this point, we'd gotten very used to visiting sacred sites and sitting and
Yeah.
just feeling the stories and the energies of the space. Um,
Yeah.
but it was
And it
very
was
special.
very It was so special. It was so cool to like add this place to my list. And then when we decided to go on this Greece trip, to be able to be like, hey, like, let's pilgrimage out. Like, let's take a ferry. Let's
Yeah.
go and like be on the water, be on this land, and like actually just sit with this rock and like see this place. And the rocks there, I like have one here that I took. It actually kind of looks like there's blood on it. I don't know if you can see that very well. I can send you a picture of it or I can post it. Um, but the rocks had these like pieces of like metal almost. Like I don't know how to
Hmm.
describe it, like rust. Um,
Yeah, here's like this is from a temple to Artemis that was on this
yeah.
beautiful beach, but here's like one of the rocks that was kind of rusty colored. Um,
Yeah. And just being able to float in the Icarian Sea.
oh my gosh, yeah, yeah. So this is a picture of us. We took the ferry, like Lori said. We just took it from
Athens.
Piraeus, yeah, from the port of
Mhm.
Athens to Ikaria, and then we flew back because it was like an 8 hour long ferry ride. But we intentionally
Yeah, it
did
was a
that
lot.
because Greece, and especially ancient Greece, was like it's such a maritime country and culture. And when you're connecting with the Greek myths and the lived experiences
Yeah.
of the people who, were telling these stories, they were on the sea so much. And so we wanted to have that
Right.
experience of being on the sea, traveling in a modern way. They weren't traveling on ferries back in the Hellenistic era, but,
Right, of course.
we intentionally did that. And it was a very cool experience. Um, yeah, and then there was like this beautiful, this is Naz Beach. If anyone wants to go to Ikaria, we would highly recommend you check it out. And it's this beautiful, beautiful beach. We like floated in the Icarian Sea right there. And then this is an ancient temple to Artemis that was right next to the beach. And so we were able to go
Yeah.
like connect to this like very, because what Jason would always talk about is even though a lot of these temples are ruins, they're rubble, it's not the building that's there. Or a lot of these spaces also just have Christian churches built on top of them at this point. So it's not the
Right.
building, it's the space and the fact that, for millennia, people have gathered right here and prayed to Artemis and prayed to what Artemis represents as far as like fertility and protecting women in
Yeah.
childbirth and protecting young women and holding on to your like virginal autonomy. And so to just be there and connecting with that space, and people, had come and made these beautiful rock formations all around the temple to Artemis. And so that was also really cool to be able to connect with that on the island as well.
Hi everyone, I'm Lori, and I offer readings of any kind. I do astrology, tarot, and palm readings. And I focus on all different sorts of timing techniques and can basically help you answer any questions you might have. I also recently started a Substack to go along with my book I've been writing on the asteroids and astrology. And so I've been posting all of the fun stories in there. And so if you're interested in asteroids and watching them play out in your chart, or using them to interpret. I've been posting all sorts of fun stories in there, and you can go find that on my website. It's on my Instagram, which is linked below, and anywhere else. Well, I was just going to talk about how Icaria is shaped like a wing.
Uh-huh.
So it like, yeah, it literally looks like his wings. That
Hmm.
he was given and fell. So it was really cool to like be on this island and kind of just like pop around and explore it. Of course, there's cats everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Um,
I'm trying to like get the pictures all in the right way. Okay, there we go. Lori
perfect.
had, oh yeah, here's her with a cat.
Yes, there were cats everywhere. There's
Yeah,
another
all
little
over
guy.
Greece in general. And, people would put out food and water for the cats. And here's Lori with three cats.
Oh yeah. Very important.
Very important. Um, yeah, and Ikaria, the map of it's a small island, so it only takes an hour or two to drive around the whole island, which part of that is
Yeah.
just because the roads are so crazy and winding. So we were able
Yeah.
to explore the whole island, and it's actually it's called a blue zone. It's one of the
Mm-hmm.
places in the world where it's famous for people living to be 100 and for living really long lives, which we talked to people and asked people who lived there about that, and some people were
Yeah.
like, that's not true anymore. And modern life has still gotten to Ikaria.
Yeah,
So
of
it's an
course.
interesting conversation to have, but like from our experience being there, I feel like what I took away from that is one reason why people have such long lives there is because it's like life isn't rushed. People are very laid back.
Yeah.
They're just, it's island time. Because
There were
I
a lot of
just,
jokes about that, the island
yeah,
time,
yeah,
time not
because
existing.
we both live in the United States and it's just like go, 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 work, 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 produce, produce. And so to
Yeah.
be in a place where you're able to just move more slowly, like what does that mean for your nervous system and your longevity and your health and your blood pressure
Mhm.
and all of that? And then the food there is like pretty like local and organic and like good quality, like Mediterranean meals. Like Greek food is just delicious. Um, and they have these amazing hot springs all over the island that we went and soaked
Yeah.
in. One was like in the ocean, which was also kind of
Yeah.
like the waves kept coming up, so we were like
Yeah. It
rocking.
was kind of chaotic, but good.
um, but yeah, that was really cool to witness the kind of quality of life that is just so
Yeah.
different than what we experience in, the United States.
So much
And
more laid back.
mhm. Here's a beautiful sunset. Also, it's just gorgeous there. There's just views of the ocean from all over and just like
Yeah.
plants and lush green life.
There was
Um,
Icarus graffiti like everywhere, which was
uh-huh,
really
and like
cool.
Icarus art. And then
Yeah.
Icaria is also known for having really ancient wine and really ancient
Hmm.
winemaking practices where they would put them in these like clay casks, like before wine barrels existed.
Yeah.
And Lori and I went wine tasting and went to a couple wineries, and we were talking to one man who was just like, yeah, my family's been here for millennia. Like it's just
Yeah.
like ancestral. People have just been there for
Yeah.
so long. And yeah, this wine, it's organic, it's local, it's not
Well, and
full of
this
like
was
chemicals and sulfates, right?
some stories say that this was the birthplace of Dionysus as
Mm-hmm.
well. So it was very, very well known for their wine and just like pleasure and fun, joy, like all the Dionysus
Mm-hmm.
keywords, the buzzwords.
Frenzy. And we were also there at during one of the last panagirias of the season, which are these big feast day festivals that are celebrated around Greece, but Ikaria in particular is really well known for
Very
these
known for them.
panagirias, which I think, is really connected to the like history of like Dionysian frenzy that we were just
Hmm.
talking about. But I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen again and share a video of people dancing at this festival. And Lori will go ahead and post this on Instagram as well. So if you want to hear the music and the sound, you can go listen to that as well. But even to just see like people doing their traditional dance,
Yeah, and there were just people everywhere.
it was crazy. It was really overstimulating, actually.
Yeah, it was kind
um,
of a lot. And we
but
had
we
to wait
got
in this crazy line for food.
Yeah. And then we didn't have cash, which was a rookie mistake. But we found this Italian
Yeah.
girl who let us like PayPal her. And it all worked out. But we got lamb and wine and had just like some really yummy traditional food and just some really cool dancing. And so that was a really cool cultural experience to get to share as well. And then I'm like, what other pictures do we have? We have, yeah, so there's the wings of Icarus as well. This is at one of the main ports in Icaria. So when people arrive to the island, they see this big sculpture, which again, like no one was there. I feel like a lot of people weren't even really connected to the ancient mythology or the stories. Like a lot of people
Yeah.
go there because of the wine and the hot springs and the panagirias, which are all amazing. But like we were really there for the myth, and we felt like we were some of the only people there for the
Yeah.
mythic
I told
stories.
so many people we were there for Icarus, and they just kind of like looked at us like we were the only people who ever did that,
Yeah.
which really made me laugh. And our something that like really stood out to me, it was such a small world moment. Um, the picture that Alicia just showed where we were at our wine tasting, the
Hmm.
girl that was our waiter was from Ohio. She actually went to college like tw like 2 hours from where I live, where from. So like it was just such a cool small world moment to be like, oh, like we were from the same place and now here we are on the complete opposite end of the world. Like she's serving us drinks and we're having
Hmm.
conversations about this wine and how her family was from there and like all these stories that she shared, and I thought that was really
Hmm.
neat.
That was really
Connect with
cool.
her.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
such a small world moment.
Yeah.
Um, what else do we have? Beautiful sunset. I think that's all of the pictures I had. Let's see. Gatito, Lori with a beautiful sunset, more cats,
Always.
Artemis. Yeah. So, yeah, I feel like that's pretty much. We were also there for the Pisces lunar eclipse, which was the first eclipse. This
Yeah.
was back in September of 2024. So, this was the first
Mhm.
eclipse of the
That
Pisces
axis.
Virgo axis in this round of Pisces Virgo eclipses, which I feel like is something
Yes.
significant of like, well, what does that mean for me and Lori that we were there at the beginning of this cycle? But we like got up in the middle of the
Yeah.
night and watched the eclipse over the ocean, which was
Yeah. At
really
5
beautiful
a.m.
to witness. Yeah.
Yeah, and the
Middle of the
eclipse was
night.
totally, it was visible from our patio that we had from our
Hmm.
Airbnb, which was so cool. We got to just sit outside on this porch and just like look over the Icarian Sea and just like watch an eclipse.
Hmm. Which also feels very, right now I'm showing some rocks from the Temple of Artemis, which is a lunar
We do
goddess.
have a
So,
video of the eclipse that we posted on Instagram too. So
hmm,
if anybody wants to go look at that, it is on our Conversations W Planets Instagram.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, but yeah, this is just kind of the first of what we hope will be many more stories of our experiences visiting Greece and visiting these different sacred mythic sites to these, beings and deities that we're getting to know through the asteroid stories work that we're doing. So we're excited to share some more of those stories with you and more of our stories from Greece. And yeah, we have an episode already out with Jason talking about the power of pilgrimage and the
Yeah.
ways that we can all engage in pilgrimage, even if you can't necessarily hop on a plane to Athens. Because, yeah, getting into a space of being a pilgrim can be very, very valuable and very interesting, especially if you're in like a ninth house activation for any reason. But at
Yeah.
any point, pilgrimage can be a really cool
Yeah.
experience to deepen your devotional practice. And yeah, it was just really, really amazing to get to go to Ikaria. So yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. And yeah, if you've been to any of the little Greek islands or you have any stories about Icarus or pilgrimage or anything, like please reach out. We love hearing from you guys. So yeah, thanks, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any personal stories to share or thoughts and reflections about what we discussed in this episode, please comment down below or reach out to us on Instagram. And please come follow us on Instagram at ConversationsWPlanets, where we share forecasts and updates about the astrological movements happening in the sky, as well as updates about our episodes. The link to our Instagram is in the show notes down below.